Have you ever found yourself hating on yourself? Or do you know somebody who hates on themselves? Or have you ever found yourself beating yourself up emotionally? Or do you know someone who does it? Or have you found yourself shutting down on yourself in very important moments of your own life? Or, of course, do you know somebody who does this? Maybe someone very closely, in fact. I know that I've done all these things, hating on myself, beating myself up, and shutting down in some of the more important moments of my life. In fact, I hated on myself. I self-loathed so much that self-loathing became a habit. Because what we do over and over and over again becomes a habit. And so I built a muscle, literally, like going to the gym. I built a muscle of self-loathing. And I became my own worst bully, and I became my own worst critic. And oh my gosh, thankfully I was able to find people, others, to support these mindsets that I was giving myself, to support getting out of those mindsets so that I could move out of that. And so, true story, self-loathing kept me in very disempowering states in pretty much every area of my life. Even though here I was like, oh, I'm going to pursue my dreams. And even though I was motivated, I was still putting myself in disempowering places unconsciously, unintentionally. So like in love, in personal relationships, I found myself in relationships where I would just shut down every time confrontation would come up because I wasn't good enough to have the conversation, or I didn't want to harm the other person, and my feelings didn't matter so much. And so I would beat up on myself. That I'm like, oh, this is just the way it is. You're not good enough for anything else, right? In my professional life, I would stay with clients simply because I didn't want to let them down. I'm like, oh, you know, their feelings matter more than mine. And for my own health, I kept myself in really cognitive and physical poor health, thinking like, well, it's not going to make a difference for everyone else. Why should I make a difference now? And so what I want to teach you here in this video is how I found the light switch inside that very small closet, dark closet of self-loathing, to turn on that light switch so I could get back to living a life on my terms, which I want you to live a life on your terms. So the solution to getting out of the self-loathing is going to sound crazy. I found gratitude for my patterns. I found gratitude whenever I caught myself hating and beating up and shutting down on myself. So every time I had that feeling in my gut, because that's where it shows up for me a lot, or that feeling in my throat, because that's where it shows up for me, or if I felt my back collapsing on itself, because that's the physiological response that I often have when I'm self-loathing, I gave myself the full permission to feel it and see it instead of denying it, because it's really easy to deny and be like, no, this will pass, this will get through, blah, blah, blah. And that's what got me in a lot of trouble. It's like, I can get over this, instead of acknowledging it. So what I would do is I would spot it, I would see it, then I acknowledge it and go, oh, there I am doing that thing again. There I am collapsing in on myself. There I am not paying attention to my own needs. And I would be like, I'm so grateful I found you. I would play with it a little bit. I've been looking for you. I've been waiting for you. And then I take action. What do you think we should do instead? Like, this feeling is not helping us pursue our dreams, to raise our vibrations, if that works for you. This isn't serving us. What should we do instead? And so as I gave gratitude to these feelings in my body, these somatic experiences, I would go, well, what should we do instead? Because this isn't good. So in relationships, I would let's speak our truth faster. At work, hey, let's figure out how to exit this relationship. For health, let's perhaps stop eating a loaf of bread a day. And so the faster you can spot a pattern, the faster you can break a pattern. So that's why it's so important to go, oh, there I am doing that thing. Oh, there you are. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I found you. What should we do instead? And the reasons I share with you the lessons that gratitude can teach us is because gratitude has a bias towards action. Gratitude gives us the ability to go, oh, here's something I have. Awareness of my crouching. Awareness of that feeling in my belly or my throat or wherever it shows up for you. And gratitude gives us the ability to go, I want to do something with this awareness. I'm so grateful I spot it so that I can do something with it, because action is the only way to the other side of the fence. The other side of the fence isn't going to move for you. You've got to move to the other side of the fence. And you don't get to the other side of the fence by sitting there in your lawn chair blaming everything external from us and all the other people. We get there by going, oh, there I am doing that thing. There you are. What should we do? And just imagine what your life's going to be like as you take even more control on the one thing you do have control over, and that's your response to what's happening right now. And my response is action. So here's what I want you to do. 1, this week, give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling and see what you're doing, because that requires courage, okay? Let's just spot it, right? So, there you are. 2, non-judgmentally, let it known it was found like that. There you are. So feel it, spot it, and 3, what are we going to do now? Now, I'm not saying this is going to make all those feelings go away, but this is the starting point. Progress, not perfection. The one thing you control is your response to things, not other people, not your children or partners or friends or family or government. You control your response, whether you take action or not. And nothing's going to change if you're not the one to take action. Remember, the fence isn't going to move for you. And action is how we live a life on our terms. It's how you will live a life on your terms. Being willing to spot the patterns faster so you could break the patterns faster. So this gives you the opportunity to make decisions. And again, it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes to make these decisions or to spot it, because it recognizes, oh, there's things I want to change, and I'm the one that has to change it. And you'll be amazed at how much control you actually have in your own life, where before you didn't think you did. And by the way, this is what Life on Your Terms Academy is all about, Lloyd Academy. It's about recognizing the patterns in our lives so we can take action on them. Life on Your Terms is a gym membership for your self-care practice. And I hope I get to see you there one day too. There's a self-led version and a live version. LifeOnYourTermsAcademy.com. And in the meantime, go spot those patterns. Oh, there you are.